Hey guys, it's Julia, and today I have a discussion for you guys. So lately I've been having trouble with reading, and I think that it has to do with the fact that possibly I am getting too old to read young adult fiction books. Now the reason why I say this is, I'm not dissing on older people who like to read young adult or anything like that. Like, you read what you want to read because you do you, always. But I think for me personally, I'm starting to feel like I relate less and less to the characters. And not only that, but I'm starting to feel like maybe I'm reading the same book over and over again. Like, once in a blue moon, there'll come a book where I'm like, oh my gosh, this is amazing and I love it. But I've started to find that the books that I've been reading that I've been loving a lot more are actually young adult that are kind of bridging over into new adult. And so I'm starting to think that maybe I need to be reading more of the new adult genre or adult genre. Now, the problem that I have with this is finding books. For me, it's easy to find young adult books because so many people on booktube are doing young adult reviews and talking about the young adult books that they're reading, but there isn't a lot of that as far as new adult or adult goes. There are some adult fiction channels, but there aren't as many as there are young adult channels. So it is really hard to find books that are interesting to me that are in the new adult genre. Also, I think that one of the big issues that I have, and the reason why it's so hard for me to find these books, is the covers of the books. I'm somebody who's very drawn in by covers of books, and the young adult genre, they have amazing book covers. I feel like book companies put a lot of work into drawing in the eye of the young people. I'm going to be putting up a cover for a YA book versus a cover for a adult fantasy novel because the difference is extreme, and I feel like they don't put as much effort into adults, or they feel like this is what draws in adults. But the thing is that the adults of yesterday are now becoming way older, and the people who are wanting to branch over into the adult world are those that were enjoying the young adult genre 10 years ago. So now what interests the young adults is what interests the adults of today. So I feel like they need to be moving the interest of the covers from the young adult and branching it over into the new adult, because definitely the covers draw a lot of people in. And so whenever I see this cover versus this cover, I'm like, I definitely want to read this book more than I want to read this book. Even though, like, I feel like I'll probably relate to this story more than I'm going to relate this story. And it's kind of messed up. Like, it really shouldn't be that way. But I definitely am somebody who is drawn in by covers, and I want to have pretty covers on my bookshelves. And that might not be the best reason to read a book, but it's just the way that I am, and it's just the way that I like my books. So I personally, and I think that a lot of people will agree with me, that they need to work on the covers of the adult genre, because I feel like the covers that they continually do are outdated. Now, whenever I do come across a cover that is an adult book and it's a cool cover, like say Queen of the Tearling or A Darker Shade of Magic, or what's another one, Lullaby, I feel like I was instantly drawn to those books because I'm like, ooh, an adult book that has a freaking awesome cover. This book must be bomb.com. So then I'm like, why can't they do more of this? Like, why do they do it sometimes and then they don't do it other times? And I know that, like, Lullaby, I think, is a self-published book, so she got to pick her cover, and I think that that really is a big deal because I picked up that book simply because of the cover. If that book would have had a different cover with an old wizard man on the front, I probably wouldn't have picked it up. But the cover was badass, so I was like, yes, please give me that book. So anyway, I think that I'm kind of getting a little off topic and going more into like a cover discussion. But I seriously feel like it is getting hard for me to read young adult fiction because I feel like I'm reading the same story again. It's always, I don't know, it just is I can't explain it, but every time I pick up a young adult book lately, I just feel like, I'm just really not interested in this story because I don't have any interest in following a teenager with high school problems and doesn't deal with any of the things that I deal with on a regular basis. I want to feel like I can transport into this fantasy world. And when you have a teenager and you're trying to like put yourself into this story, it's just not, it doesn't work as good as if you're reading an adult story. I feel like A Court of Mist and Fury and that whole series, I felt like I could relate to because it was more of a new adult story and there was obviously adult things going on. So I felt like I could put myself into that story and transport into that story. Or like another book that I'm currently reading that is in the new adult genre is The Savior's Champion. And there's a lot of like adult language and things like that that make me relate to the story, that make me laugh, and things that I find enjoyable. It's weird. It's hard to explain what I'm trying to say. So I hope this isn't just like a rambling video. And I hope that you guys understand like what I'm trying to say. But I think that like I'm going to be starting to try to kind of transition into more of a new adult book channel where I'm going to be trying to find new adult books that are really good. I'm going to be trying to find adult novels that are good for people who want to make the switch or kind of transition out of young adult into new adult. And I'm going to be trying to review and talk more about new adult books versus young adult books because, like I said, I just can't relate anymore and I feel like young adult is kind of getting boring to me. Now, with that said, I do want to finish writing my young adult books that I've started writing, and I do want to dabble in new adult books that I can kind of make into the stories that I want to read, which is obviously what they tell you when you start writing a book. So there will be a lot of new things coming to my channel. Obviously, I'm still going to read some young adult books, but I'm going to be trying to branch out. I've actually just started reading a new series called, I can't remember what the trilogy is called, but the book is called 100,000 Kingdoms, The 100,000 Kingdoms, and so far it's really good. I feel like I'm really able to get into the story so far, and I'm excited to see where it goes. It's definitely a more in-depth world. There's a lot more going on than what goes on in a young adult book. It's a lot more detailed. The world is just way more vivid. It's really interesting to see the difference between young adult book world building and new adult and adult world building. It's very interesting, very interesting. So I'm really enjoying that. Oh, I know the book that I was reading that just really kind of made me think of why I am tired of reading young adult books, and that is The Zodiac. I started reading it, I got about 50 pages in and was just like, I'm so tired of reading the same story over and over again. So that is kind of where I'm at right now. I would love to hear your guys' thoughts on this topic. I know this video is a little rambly like my last video was, but I would love to hear your thoughts, so please comment down below what you think of this, and if anybody has any recommendations on new adult books or adult fantasy or sci-fi or any kind of really good adult fiction book, please send it my way because I would love to give it a try. So yeah, that is really it for this video, and I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, please like and subscribe if you're not already, and I'll see you guys next time. Thanks so much for watching. Bye!